On the night of the extermination, Sasuke awakened memories of his past life. He knew about his past and present life, and understood the history of the ninja world. It also opens a golden finger that allows you to travel around other worlds every 3 months. So he made a bold decision: I want to drop out. Sasuke remade the application form in front of the 3rd generation Hokage. The purity of ninjas is too low. Who wants to do this sunset profession? If you want to do it, become a millionaire, become a nobleman, and marry a princess. Vigorously developing the business and entertainment industry, extending our tentacles to every corner of the ninja world. What? Are you saying that Kiba doesn't agree? You don't need to agree, I'll do it myself. I want to make new leaves. Simultaneously utilizing technology from other worlds to create various new ship professions. Superpowers, ninjutsu swordsman, annihilating legions. By the time Sasuke came to his senses, he had unified the ninja world and become the wealthiest person in the world. However, this is only his first step in dominating the heavens. Keywords of the novel. My name is Sasuke. From Hokage's richest man dominating the heavens without a pop-up window, my name is Sasuke. Download the complete text of Hokage's richest man dominating the heavens. My name is Sasuke. Read the latest chapter on Hokage's richest man dominating the heavens. Chapter 1. Me, Sasuke, I want to quit school. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Me, Sasuke, I want to quit school. At the Kiba hospital, Sasuke lay on the bed, lost in thought as he gazed at the ceiling. The voice of the nurse's sister's discussion could be faintly heard in her ear. Is that him? That child? All the tribe members died overnight. Is it his brother who did it? He even killed his parents. It's inhumane. What a pity. Itachi, mom and dad, village, Sendai, Ujibwa in the brain, messy memories are being reorganized. Meanwhile, another memory is gradually emerging. Blue Star, Huaxia, University, parents, mortgage. Etc., mortgage. I just finished paying off my mortgage. Shua. Sasuke's eyes were wide open, and he sat up from the bed with a clear view of the single hook jade in his eyes. He shouted loudly, causing several young nurses next to him to tremble all over. When they looked over, they found that Sasuke had once again passed out. Uchiha clan land. The once bustling village is now completely silent. Sasuke walked on the street and couldn't help but recall what he saw along the way when he ran back a few nights ago. The bloodstains everywhere, as well as the corpses of the tribe. Now they all disappear without a trace, as if they have never appeared before. I started so quickly and washed so clean that I didn't leave any soup for me. It's too much. Whispering inwardly, Sasuke returned to his own home. In my memory, the atmosphere of this home was warm and harmonious, with my father's face cold and my heart hot, and my mother gentle and virtuous. As for my older brother White-Eyed Wolf, Yellow Weasel, Fool, Sasuke can only give such an evaluation. Walking to the doorstep, the warm and elegant courtyard in front of me overlaps with the memories of my past life, making it difficult to distinguish which is true and which is false. Sasuke sighed, pushed open the door, and took a step inside. Although it had only been a few days since I left, a thick layer of ash had already fallen in the room, and the whole house was cold and unpopular. Change your shoes, walk up to the 2nd floor, and return to your own room. All the furnishings are exactly the same as a few days ago. I don't know if anyone has sneaked in these days when I left. It should be there, after all, it's the house of the Uchiha clan leader. Who knows if there will be any secret scroll here? Tossing himself on the bed, Sasuke began to empty his mind. His mind was still a bit chaotic, and the two memories were constantly merging. However, Sasuke already understands what has happened to him. A few days ago on the night of extermination, his spirit was strongly stimulated, and while opening his eyes, he awakened memories of his past life. In his past life, he was an ordinary worker living in modern society, working hard for more than 10 years and saving money to pay off his mortgage. Excitedly inviting a few friends out to drink and celebrate, he encountered a car accident on his way home and was sent to this world by a mud truck messenger, ushering in a second life. In this life, the mother was born in October and became the second son of Uchiha. He originally had a happy family in a bright future, but due to Uchiha Itachi being a fool, his family ended up in ruin. As for why you think Itachi is a fool, what should I say? Unexpectedly, the world I live in is actually a manga, or, unexpectedly, the world of Naruto actually exists. It doesn't really matter how you understand it, whether it's his past life or Sasuke, they are all his own real-life experiences. After awakening the memories of his past life, some of the content had a slight impact on him, making it difficult for him to calm down for a long time. But upon careful consideration, this is actually quite good. At least I know a lot about the future. The true reason for the extermination of the race lies in the hidden soil and spots, the organization of all evil people, the Fourth Ninja War, and the invasion of the ninja world by aliens if nothing unexpected happens. It's all things that I would have encountered in the future, but since I already knew in advance, I definitely need to make some changes. First of all, revenge is certain. Not to mention anything else, the parents of the second son have raised him for so many years, and this relationship cannot be fake. Even a weasel must die, always speaking for its own good, but the problem is. Do you think I'm really rare? And cruelly killing his parents, no matter what the reason is, he deserves to die. Of course, these are not the most important things. The most important thing is that we must not be rebellious. In my memory, the future self was also foolish enough to guard such a large family business, with a land area as large as 2 or 3 blocks in my previous life. This is such a spectacular wealth. It is not difficult to become the richest person in the ninja world, not to mention the richest person in the Konoha world. As a result, he defected and all the house tickets were sold out. The village just found a way to embezzle all of this property. This made Sasuke, who had worked hard for a house in his past life for 10 years, feel heartbroken every time he thinks about it, making it difficult to breathe. Unconsciously, the eyes turned red, and a second jade appeared faintly. Anything else can be tolerated, but things related to houses and money cannot be tolerated. Oh, not only the village, but also Pain. That bastard, a god Luo Tianjing, destroyed most of the village. Although the land of the Uchiha tribe had already been confiscated by the village at that time, Sasuke would still feel very sorry just thinking about it. Originally, those houses were all mine. The more I thought, the more angry I became. Under strong stimulation, my eyes successfully opened the double Goyu. However, he forgot that he was only 7 years old. Chakra. Not enough. After the strong stimulation, Sasuke fainted again, which was his 3rd time in a short period of time. Fortunately, this coma was brief, and Sasuke woke up on his own that night. I got up and washed my face, looked in the mirror, and looked at my writing wheel. Well, it's still so handsome, and my eyes are also very handsome. I was so hungry that I went to the kitchen to find food, but most of the things in the refrigerator were broken. I could only cook a packet of instant noodles and make do with it. After dinner, Sasuke went to his parents' room, which was messy and clearly looked like it had been looted. This is also normal. The Uchiha clan has been exterminated, and if others don't say it, the root of Tuanzai will definitely plunder the Uchiha clan's territory. Sasuke tidied up the room and only found the land deed of the Uchiha clan, as well as a few ninjutsu cultivation scrolls. That kind of low-level ninjutsu that is not worth much money, and even Tanzo doesn't like it. Folding the scroll is also Sasuke's biggest reliance on becoming stronger in a short period of time. Let's start practicing hard tomorrow. In this world, having a strong fist is the hard truth. Whether it's revenge or protecting property, anything without strength is false, and even money cannot be defended. So, strive to cultivate and become the strongest. Then Sasuke rested early, and the child had to go to bed and wake up early to be healthy. The next day, Sasuke got up early and after having breakfast, he went straight to the Hokage building and placed an application form in front of the third generation. What? Are you dropping out of school? Sandai widened his eyes and looked at Sasuke as if he was looking at a monster. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Blaming 3 generations and searching for the family bottom. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Blaming 3 generations and searching for the family bottom, dropping out. Sandai glanced at Uchiha Sasuke standing in front of him, expressionless and waiting for a response, feeling a pain in his brain. He took a puff of smoke and choked himself, coughing hard several times before regaining his strength. Sasuke, can you tell me why you want to drop out? Did you have a bad time at school? Young people have a simple mind, but sometimes they are also very imaginative. The elderly think they should chat with each other well. Can't you drop out of school? I don't remember the village having such regulations. Sasuke still had that indifferent expression. Of course not, schools allow students to drop out of school, but usually only one student with particularly poor grades and no natural talent to become a ninja is allowed to drop out. But you are different, you are very talented, your surname is Uchiha, and you are one of the oldest families in the ninja world. Excuse me, Lord Hokage, I am the only one left after Uchiha's death. There will be no more Uchiha's family in the future. Sasuke added a special accent to the word family. The third generation opened their mouths and didn't know what to say for a moment. It took him several seconds to organize his thoughts. Isn't that exactly the meaning of your hard work in cultivation? Become a powerful ninja and rebuild the Uchiha clan. And then continue the killing. Before the third generation could finish speaking, Sasuke interrupted once again, my parents and tribe have all died, and everything I used to be accustomed to no longer exists. Just because they are ninjas, ninjas keep killing, either they kill others or others kill them. I don't want my descendants to be slaughtered like my parents on a very ordinary night. Make me hate you again. These two are not directly related, and becoming a ninja does not necessarily mean being exterminated. Sandai still wanted to explain, but when he saw Sasuke's indifferent expression, he couldn't continue with his words. For a long time, he let out a deep sigh. Reach out and hold down the application submitted by Sasuke, gently pushing forward. I know your emotions are not stable right now, but I hope you don't make blind decisions. In this way, I will ask the school for a period of leave on your behalf. You can go back and rest first, calm down, and think carefully. Think about your parents. If they are still alive, would they want you to drop out of school and stop being a ninja? I will keep this report for now, and come to me when you calm down. No need, Lord Huiying, I am very calm now. I know what I am doing. I have decided to drop out of school, please approve my application. Sasuke didn't want to have long dreams at night. He knew that as long as he walked out of the room now, 3 generations would come to him tonight and tell him about the will of fire. He doesn't want to listen to that nonsense, he just wants to cut through the chaos quickly. Do you say I represent the Uchiha clan? Okay, now I make this decision as the head and sole member of the Uchiha clan. I have dropped out of this school. Even if the 6 immortals come, it's useless. What I said. Seeing his resolute attitude, the old man finally had nothing to say. Okay, I have approved your withdrawal application. Sandai sighed and finally signed Sasuke's withdrawal application. After leaving the Hokage building, Sasuke felt that the whole world was much livelier. Dropping out of school was a decision he made after careful consideration. In his previous life, he really liked ninjas while watching anime, thinking that ninjutsu was too cool. In this life, until the night of the extermination, he never wavered in his dream of becoming a ninja, because he felt that he should become a powerful ninja and make his parents and siblings proud of him. But with the destruction of his family, the memories of his past life awakened, and the memories of his two lives merged. He suddenly became disgusted with the profession of ninja. Not involved in production, only knowing about killing, besides destruction or destruction. Despite possessing superhuman power, it does not provide any help to social development and instead plunges the entire world into an infinite cycle. He claims not to be a saint and cannot change the whole world, but changing himself is always possible, right? Becoming stronger doesn't necessarily mean becoming a ninja. Ninjas are just a profession, not an upgrade system, not a career tree or talent tree, and not a divine path. So he will continue to learn ninjutsu to become stronger, but he will not enter the ninja circle, he will act as a free person. This choice may bring him some trouble, but in the long run, it is clear that the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. And he is completely not worried about his life being threatened. There are two reasons. One is the promise made by the third generation to Itachi. Although he wished he could turn Itachi into a curse in his heart, Sasuke also admitted that he still had to rely on Itachi's influence to protect himself. The second is the attitude of other ninja tribes. What do other families think of Yuzhibo, such a big family, if they can't even protect their last orphan? Will the rabbit die and the fox mourn? Only focusing on these 2 points, neither the village nor any other ninja tribe will allow Sasuke to cause trouble in the village. Whoever dares to take action against him will be against the entire Kiba village. Therefore, Sasuke can confidently break away from the ninja circle and play whatever you like. I won't be with you, young master. Returning home, Sasuke first cleaned the house thoroughly, then grabbed a small cart and began to stroll around the tribal land. All the corpses of the clan have been taken away, and there are no scrolls related to the ninjas left, but fortunately, some of the money of the Uchiha clan has been preserved. Overall, ninjas do not place much emphasis on money. They prioritize the resources needed for ninja cultivation, followed by materials such as money. Taking advantage of the fact that the dark side has not yet undergone a second sweep, Sasuke plans to collect all the remaining wealth of the Uchiha clan, which is his first bucket of gold to make a fortune. Yuzhibo is actually very wealthy, after all, he is the largest tribe of Genki leaves. But Sasuke had no idea how much money he had. In the past, all his food and clothing were prepared by his family, and he had enough pocket money on him for a long time. He never had to worry about money matters. The second prince of the noble and noble Jibwa clan, no matter how he thinks, cannot lack money to spend. But from today on, he will have to live his own life. If he wants to complete some plans, he must figure out how much money is left in this family. It was not until dusk that Sasuke searched the entire Uchiha. The clan library has been emptied by someone, and Sasuke went in and walked around before finally coming out with his mouth curled. On the contrary, he gained a lot from the families of his tribe, with almost every household having savings. He also found a large amount of cash from the families of the previously high-ranking tribe members. Sasuke pushed all these things back into his own house and piled them up in the basement, as if moving. After the last move, the basement was almost filled, and as soon as you entered, you could see the small hill like banknotes. During most of this time, Sasuke searched through the tribal land and found a large amount of cash, gold, and antiques. The value of antiques is difficult to evaluate, and he is currently unsure of how much gold is worth. He can only focus on cash calculations for now. Sasuke counted and divided the cash according to face value, and after counting it all, he finally came up with a number that left him speechless. A whopping 1.5 billion taels. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Golden Finger, Visiting the Ninja Clan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Golden Finger, Visiting the Ninja Clan. No wonder the village would take action against Yuzhibo. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to bear it either. Yuzhibo fell down and had enough to eat in my village. He should have walked too fast. Looking at the pile of money in front of him, Sasuke was filled with emotions. Of course, this is a joking statement. If Yuzhibo had only pure money, he wouldn't have encountered such a cruel hand. After all, isn't it still these eyes that caused the trouble? Of course, my dad also has some responsibility. Well, if you don't blame me, it's all up to Tuanzang and Itachi. In short, with this first bucket of gold, one's future plans will undoubtedly be much smoother. As for why Yuzhibo is so wealthy, just look at the land deeds left by his father. In addition to the land under his feet, Yuzhibo also has many other commercial real estate properties. Just in the core area of my village, Yuzhibo has 50 shops and more than 10 apartment buildings. Outside my village, Yuzhibo has over 20 shops in the Fire City, and there are also shops in other cities to some extent. All of these shops together can bring at least tens of thousands of taels of rent to Yuzhibo every year. In addition, Yuzhibo has many other industries in the Fire Country, such as forest farms, mines, hot springs, casinos, and restaurants, which can also bring considerable income to Yuzhibo. Finally, it is the income earned by the tribe members from going out to do tasks, as well as the funds allocated by my village to the police force every year. Of course, these are just small amounts and not worth mentioning. Cash is stacked in bundles, antiques are neatly arranged in the room, and all the gold is moved to one's own bedroom. After finishing these, Sasuke wiped his sweat. Taking a glance at the time, it's almost 9 o'clock in the evening. Since finishing breakfast, it's been over 10 hours without realizing it. Apart from drinking water a few times midway, Sasuke hasn't had any grains of rice all day. He was busy before and didn't feel it, but now he suddenly regains consciousness and is so hungry that he feels dizzy. Daring not to delay any longer, Sasuke grabbed a handful of cash and quickly ran out to have dinner. Fortunately, my village is bustling at night, and even at 11 or 12 o'clock at night, food can be found. After finishing my meal, I walked back home in a leisurely manner, took a beautiful bath, washed away the sweat and mud all over my body, and finally returned to the bedroom dry and clean. Sitting on the bed, Sasuke casually picked up his father's scroll, carefully studied it for a while, and selected a ninjutsu from it. After recording all the cultivation content, he got up and went to the gold pile. Take out a few larger pieces from inside and put them in the cabinet for future use. Then turn around and place your hand on the pile of gold. The next second, a transparent flame blared brightly, and the gold disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. Another important reason why Sasuke dares to drop out of ninja school is that he believes he can become strong even if he doesn't go to school. He has talent, as evidenced by past life memories, and he himself is full of confidence in himself. He also has resources, the scroll left by his father and the remaining wealth of the family, which can help him grow quickly. Finally, and most importantly, he also had a golden finger that suddenly appeared with the awakening of past life memories. After learning that he had extra golden fingers, Sasuke was already extremely excited in his heart. He had never had a suitable opportunity to try before and was busy doing various things, and at that time he didn't have enough gold. At this late night, it was quiet that he finally waited for the opportunity to try. After absorbing all the gold on the ground, Sasuke lay back in bed, closed his eyes, and silently communicated with his golden fingers in his heart. After a moment, his whole body disappeared in a non-dazzling light. The next morning, Sasuke reappeared in bed. Opening his eyes and looking at the familiar yet unfamiliar ceiling in front of him, it took him a long time to come to his senses. After spending 3 months in the world of ghost destruction, Huiying only passed 7 hours. Compared to 300.1, this golden finger is a bit fierce. Pinching my fist, although my body's appearance hasn't changed much, the feeling of becoming stronger is genuine. Ninja. The purity is too low, from now on, I will stand at the top. Sasuke walked up to the mirror, revealing a Dragon King smile, reached out and wiped his hair, transforming himself into an adult. Then he covered his stomach and ran towards the toilet. He lives a very regular life every day, going to bed and waking up early, using the restroom at regular times and locations, and his body has developed habits. Today is an exception, half an hour later than usual. I was just dressed up and almost couldn't hold back. Half an hour later, Sasuke, who had packed up, left the house. I ran to the central street for breakfast first, and then bought myself a few sets to change and do laundry. The previous clothes were too childish. Although he is indeed a child now, what he needs to do next is very important. He needs to dress up a bit more mature. After buying clothes, Sasuke went to the task management office again and released a B.level escort task with the highest reward of 200,000 taels, which was set for a week later. When the receptionist saw him, his eyes were straight. Tang Yuji Bo is a descendant of the last generation, and of course the other party can recognize him. It is precisely because I recognize it that I find it unbelievable. This little ghost has just been slaughtered throughout his family. Shouldn't he continue to be immersed in pain and unable to extricate himself at this moment? Why are you still in the mood to post tasks? Spend 200,000 to hire ninjas to escort him to the City of Fire. How? Are you planning to stay away from the sad place? Is Yuzhibo so wealthy or not? After registering the task for Sasuke, the person in charge did not hesitate and reported the situation to the third generation as soon as possible. The third generation remained silent for a long time with the intelligence, and finally shook their head. Whatever he wants to do, let him do it. On the other side, Sasuke, who had completed the task, hummed a tune and walked home. I had some snacks on the way and watched an animal show for a while. When he returned home, it happened to be just afternoon. At this moment, the sun was poisonous and not suitable for cultivation, so I went back to my house to take a nap. After waking up, I ran to the training ground in the neighboring yard and started with simple warm-up exercises. After warming up, I started practicing ninjutsu, which is the one my dad left behind. It wasn't until after 4 p.m. that Sasuke changed into a super small formal outfit. It looks a bit ridiculous, giving people a feeling of deliberately imitating adults. Then he came to the door of the Hinata clan, holding a gift and a petition. Seeing Sasuke, the ninjas of the Hinata clan dared not neglect him. One of them led him in, while the other quickly went to inform the clan leader. Not long after, Hinata arrived at the reception room and saw Sasuke sitting upright at a glance. Uncle Rizu, I apologize for bothering you, but I have something very important to ask for your help. Please don't refuse. As he spoke, he took out a wrapped envelope from his arms and pushed it towards Hinata Higashi. Rizu looked at the young man in front of him and let out a long sigh. Your father and I, alas, Hinata and Uchiha used to have many conflicts, now let them all disappear. Put away the things, and if you have anything to do, just say it. As long as I can do it, I will definitely help to the end. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Assault from the Root, Testing Strength. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Assault from the Root, Testing Strength. Sasuke left an hour later, and no one knew what he had talked to Hinata Higashi about. Only the two parties involved were aware of the conversation. When leaving, Hinata personally escorted Sasuke to the door. Go back and rest well, don't daydream, remember to come to me if you have any difficulties. Understood, thank you very much, Uncle Rizu. The two Hinata ninjas guarding the door exchanged a glance, their hearts filled with astonishment. When has it been so easy for their family leader to speak? Especially when the other party is still a Uchiha, this is really quite magical. After receiving the news, the third generation also felt the same way, but he would think more. Is it a union? Or exchange of interests? What does Sasuke want to do? What do the Japanese football team plan to do? Due to insufficient intelligence, the third generation can only suppress their curiosity and plan to observe for a period of time before making a decision. In the following 2 days, Sasuke visited other ninja tribes in the village, including the 3 families of Zhu Lu Dai, who had been closely following the footsteps of Hokage. The next 3 generations were a bit restless. He called Lu Jiu over and made some insightful inquiries, only to receive the answer that it was just a regular social visit. The third generation is relatively confident in Lu Jiu, believing that he will not deceive himself. At the same time, he had more doubts, and he always felt that Sasuke was not that simple. But if it were to say what unknown conspiracy Sasuke had, he couldn't say. Unfortunately, he can ask the same question to Lu Jiu, but not to Rizu. The third generation decided to wait and see. However, 3 generations can wait, while others cannot. When Sasuke finished visiting the Oil Girl clan and planned to go home, 2 figures suddenly fell from the sky, blocking him one in front of the other. This is a small park on the edge of the Wooden Leaves, which is relatively remote and rarely visited by people. Sasuke walked another small path and was stopped here. Even if he shouted for help, others might not be able to hear him. Sasuke looked at the attire of these 2 people, and there was no difference between the battle suit and the dark side, but the mask was not an animal decoration. Is it the root? Uchiha Sasuke, if Lord Tuanzang has something to ask you, come with us. The ninja in front of him spoke up and helped Sasuke confirm his guess. Tuanzang. I don't know. And I'm not a ninja from the village, so the dark side probably doesn't have the authority to control me, right? Sasuke said. He certainly knows who Tuanzang is and one of the culprits behind the destruction of Uchiha, but under normal circumstances, he should not know Tuanzang, so he can only pretend to be foolish here. Whether in the dark or at the root, the job responsibilities are to assassinate, monitor, gather intelligence, and pursue traitors, only responsible for matters related to ninjas. For ordinary people, the police force should be deployed. Oh, I almost forgot, the police force is now completely wiped out. We suspect that you are related to spies from other villages. Taking you back is just an investigation. Please cooperate well and don't force us to take action. The ninja behind him spoke. As he spoke, he began to approach Sasuke continuously. Tisk. Sasuke smacked his lips. I thought it would be safer in the village before, but it seems that I have thought too much. I didn't expect this group of Tibetan goods to be criticized crazily. In this situation, if he dares to take action against himself, is he not afraid of being collectively attacked by other ninja tribes? Well, it should be fearless. Who would make them the black gloves of Lord Hokage? Even if we make a big mistake, there will still be 3 generations to protect us. Of course, he certainly wouldn't dare to actually kill himself, which is beyond doubt, but he still has the courage to bring it back to his roots for a little torture. Fortunately, Sasuke had a golden finger around, and from the beginning, he did not fully rely on the 3rd generation for his safety, and took this opportunity to verify his gains. Then let's give it a try. Sasuke pulled out a handful of bitter nothingness and held it with his back hand. Take a deep breath and your heart suddenly accelerates. Concentrate all your strength on one foot, then burst out in one breath, only to hear the sound of thunder, and your young body suddenly disappears. Thunder breath, 1 type, thunderbolt flash. Boom boom. Thunder resounded out of thin air. A lightning bolt pierced through the air. So fast. The dark ninja's pupils tightened and instinctively pulled out his ninja knife to block his chest. Chang, Mars erupted. At the moment of raising the knife, Ku Wu fiercely collided with it, and the impact was so strong that he almost couldn't hold the knife. Hands on. Without him shouting, the ninja behind Sasuke had already started moving. The instant technique flashed behind Sasuke and reached out to grab his arm, trying to subdue him from behind. Sasuke smiled slightly. 1,000 birds flow. Thunder burst out, and suddenly, both of them were dragged into a state of paralysis. Damn it. The root ninja's heart tightened as he prepared to struggle. The next second, Sasuke kicked off the ground with both feet, flipping over and jumping up, his hands imprinted in mid-air, and his chest bulging high. Fire escape. The art of dragon fire. 3 fireballs flew out of Sasuke's mouth, transforming into 3 dragon heads in mid-air, carrying terrifying heat and diving down. This technique was self-taught by Sasuke during his 3 months in the world of ghost destruction. The fusion of memories from 2 lifetimes gave him strong spiritual power, greatly enhancing his memory and making him more adept at learning new ninjutsu. Including Qianyao Lu, although it may be a bit impolite, the scroll left by my father does indeed record the Leidun Qianyao of Kakashi that the clan members secretly learned. Learning Qianyao and then developing it into Qianyao stream based on memory is not difficult for Sasuke. Flash on. The fire dragon fell and the root ninja roared. Bang, the sound of explosions echoed through the park. Crushed stones splattered and smoke columns soared into the sky. Sasuke landed not far away, looking up ahead. Not far away, a large pit was blasted out on the ground, and the heat twisted the air. There were still flames on the ground that had not been extinguished. A rooted ninja lay by the edge of the pit, with a burnt back. The ninja who was originally standing in front of Sasuke knelt on one knee next to the pit, with a severe burn on his left hand. Damn it, this little ghost. He could never have imagined that a young ghost who had only been in school for a few years would be able to unleash the powerful ninja technique of dragon fire, which is beyond the reach of ordinary ninjas. And that Thunder Dun obviously played the nature change to the extreme. Is this little ghost a monster? Is he really only 7 years old? However, Lord Tuanzang's orders made him hesitant to waste time and have no time to daydream. After adjusting his posture slightly, the root ninja grabbed a knife and rushed towards Sasuke. He didn't believe that after using these 2 ninjutsu techniques, Sasuke still had more energy to fight. After all, he was just a little ghost, and chakra was definitely not enough. My advantage lies in me. The root ninja is full of confidence. Across from him, Sasuke's smile was somewhat grim. Without a forehand grip, thunder and lightning spread out from the palm of the hand, covering the bitterness and continuing to extend, turning into a lightning blade. Hiding the thunderbolt blade by his side, Sasuke took a deep breath and crouched slightly, intending to exert his strength again. At this moment, several piercing sounds sounded, and 3 figures wearing cloaks and sunglasses suddenly appeared. One person stood in front of Sasuke, with their back to him, protecting him behind them. The other 2 fell beside the root ninja. Although they didn't take any action, they froze on the spot and dared not act recklessly. She is from the Oil Lady family. Sasuke recognized the person's identity at a glance. That's right, this place is not far from the Oil Girl's house, and it must be surrounded by various insects. If there is a slight movement, they can immediately detect it, and even cannot rule out the possibility that they have been quietly protecting themselves. It seems that this fight cannot continue. Sasuke put away his suffering. Fortunately, the strength test has been completed. If you fight with all your might, you can steadily defeat a root ninja. The golden finger is really awesome. It only took 1 night in the tolerance world, but I have been practicing in other worlds for 3 months. Not only did he learn breathing techniques, but he also elevated his strength to the medium endurance level. Unfortunately, Golden Finger has a cooling time, and if you want to use it again, you will have to wait for 3 months. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Naruto, don't guide me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Naruto, don't guide me Uncle Jiwei. Sasuke stood up straight and shouted. What stood in front of him was Jinai's father, the contemporary chieftain of the Oil Girl tribe, and the Oil Girl Jiwei. They only saw it recently, but at that time Uncle Jiwei was not wearing an outer coat. Are you okay? Yunuji turned slightly and looked at Sasuke. I'm fine. Sasuke shook his head and glanced at the controlled root ninja not far away. Uncle Jiwei, what are these 2 people? Are they really Konoha's ninjas? Also, they just said it was Tanzo who wanted to see me, and who is Tanzo? Sasuke, you go home first. I'll handle these 2 people, so don't worry. Don't worry, I'll give you an explanation. Yunu Jiwei did not answer Sasuke's question. Uncle Jiwei, will it be very troublesome? If it's troublesome, forget it. Anyway, I'm not injured. Sasuke had a worried expression on his face. Don't worry, there won't be any trouble. Yunuji gave a slightly stiff smile. With his reserved nature, it's really rare for him to say so much today and still show a smile. He is not pretending to comfort Sasuke easily, it should be Tanzo who is in real trouble now. It's not even been 10 days since Yuzhibo wiped out his family, but he actually came up with the idea of Yuzhibo's orphan again. If other ninja tribes can spare him lightly, it's considered a ghost. Sasuke is full of expectations for this. The fact did not go against his expectations. The next morning, Sasuke was about to go out for breakfast when a dark ninja appeared in front of him. Without saying a word of nonsense, he put down a scroll and turned around to leave. Sasuke picked up the scroll and lifted the seal on it. 3 items appeared in front of him. A scroll, an envelope, and a long knife. In the scroll, there are some secret ninjutsu techniques from Uchiha, including a complete set of fire escape techniques. Unfortunately, they are not as comprehensive as what my father secretly hides, and they are completely worthless to Sasuke. The long knife is in the shape of a striking knife, measuring 73 centimeters in length. It feels quite comfortable to hold and play with a few times. But this thing looks very ordinary, not particularly valuable. So Sasuke tried to inject chakra into the blade, and the injection process went very smoothly. Immediately, beams of electric light appeared on the blade. It turned out to be a chakra weapon. Then the value of this knife is quite high, don't even think about it if it's worth tens of thousands of taels. Finally, there is an envelope containing a passbook and a letter written to him by 3 generations. Put aside the passbook and read the letter first. In the letter, Sendai first expressed his apologies to Sasuke and informed him that there was a deposit of 500 million taels in his passbook, which was a compensation gift given to him by Kiba. Then the 3 representatives showed that he had harshly reprimanded and punished Tuanzang, and promised that similar accidents would not occur again in the future. This was the first and last time, followed by Balabara. Hehe, you're playing tricks on ghosts. Sasuke crumpled the letter into a ball and casually threw it into the trash can. If the 3rd generation really manages Tuanzang, this will not happen from the beginning. And the money in the passbook and the scroll, weren't they all stolen from the Uchiha clan treasury? I just made a mistake and turned it into an apology for him. I still have to be grateful, right? Sasuke pursed his lips. This knife is quite interesting, and I don't know why the 3rd generation would give it as a compensation gift to him. Did Uncle Jiwei say something? Or was it the intelligence provided by the 2 ninjas under Tuanzang's command? Or is it a test of the 3rd generation? It doesn't matter, anyway, after learning Thunder Breath, I already need a good knife to cooperate. I originally planned to spend money to buy it myself or find a way to help my cat grandmother, but now someone has voluntarily brought a knife to my door, saving me not only money but also a lot of time. I just don't know where this knife comes from, maybe it's also a collection in the Uchiha clan's treasury. If it were really like this, the 3rd generation would be too generous. The compensation was all snatched from someone else's house, forcing Gu to catch it all in an instant. In the next few days, Sasuke didn't make any further moves. Apart from going out shopping every day, he hardly goes out and just stays at home to practice. Life returned to tranquility until the afternoon of the day before departure. Sasuke went out to buy some ingredients, and when he returned, he saw a group of people gathered at his doorstep from afar. Sasuke. A girl waved at him forcefully, then ran over bouncing and bouncing, with a single white gold ponytail swaying and shining brightly in the sunlight. Sasuke's eyes immediately became sharp. Single ponytail. A driving system that is even more noble than a double ponytail. Unfortunately, it's a bit small, and it's the same in all aspects. Sasuke-jun, why haven't you been to school these days? I asked Irukasai and he said you're on leave. What's wrong? Did something happen? The girl ran up to him and asked with a concerned expression on her face. The others followed over, Naruto, Lumaru, Dingji, Ya, Sakura, Hinata, and Shino, all familiar faces. After looking at these people, Sasuke finally fixed his gaze on Inoue. Don't you know yet? What do you know? Ino blinked, his face full of confusion. Most others do the same, except for Lumaru's expression which is somewhat unnatural. It seems that he knows something. 10 days ago, the Uchiha clan was massacred, including my parents. Only I survived the entire Uchiha clan. Sasuke has no intention of concealing anything, anyway, they will eventually find out about such a big matter. Without any accidents, except for Lumaru, everyone else had a shocked expression on their faces. Sorry, Sasuke, I don't know. Ino stuttered and said. No need, I have already accepted reality. Sasuke smiled at Inoue. Sasuke. By the way, I have classroom notes for the past few days here. You should rest well at home and don't rush to school. I will send them to you every day in the future. As Ino spoke, he was about to hand over the local area to Sasuke. Didn't teacher Iruka tell you? A few days ago, I submitted my withdrawal application to the 3rd generation, and they have already agreed. Dropout. Ino widened his eyes and looked incredulous. Put away your notes, I have received your message, but I'm afraid I won't be able to use it again in the future. Sasuke pushed Inoue's notebook back. Thank you very much for coming to see me, but I'm really not in the mood to chat today. If there's a chance in the future, I'll treat everyone to dinner. That's it for now. Sasuke nodded at the students who had not yet regained consciousness, walked past Inoue, and prepared to go home. Wait a moment. At that moment, Naruto's voice suddenly sounded, and he clenched his fists and glared at Sasuke with force. Why drop out of school, Sasuke? Aren't you planning to become a ninja in the future? Naruto asked about the curiosity in other people's hearts, and everyone rushed over to take a look. Yeah, Sasuke nodded calmly, I don't plan on becoming a ninja anymore. But if you don't have the strength, how will you avenge your family? Naruto asked loudly. That's my own business, Naruto. Sasuke's footsteps kept moving forward. Wait, I can't accept it. Naruto suddenly took 2 steps forward, reaching out to grab Sasuke's shoulder. Brush, everyone only felt a flash in front of them, but in the blink of an eye, Sasuke had already arrived behind Naruto. Naruto maintained a posture with his arms extended forward, frozen in place without moving. A blade passed through his armpit and stopped in front of his throat, and he could even feel the coldness of the blade. Even colder is Sasuke's voice. Whether or not to be a ninja is my business, it has nothing to do with you, Naruto Vortex. Don't criticize me. The gentle breeze swept through the fallen leaves. Although it was a warm summer, the mood of the young girl was like a cold winter. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. The Influence of the Millennium Ghost. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The influence of the Millennium Ghost. A group of friends were suppressed by Sasuke's strength. It's fake. Inuzuka widened his eyes, and little Akamaru on top of his head let out a whimper. Lumaru put down his hand holding the back of his head, and Dinksy stopped his mouth, which had not stopped since just now. Hinata's tears of panic were about to fall. Sasuke. Ino stared blankly at Sasuke's back and murmured softly. Okay, it's just a joke. Fortunately, this solemn atmosphere did not last long. Sasuke sheathed his knife and patted Naruto's shoulder. You have this leisure time, first do your own well in grades, then you don't have to worry about my affairs. After speaking, he walked straight towards his own home. This time no one dared to stop him, including Naruto, staring straight at his back until Sasuke's figure completely disappeared and he didn't say anything inappropriate again. Bang! The door was tightly closed, and the sound of the door closing woke up a group of young boys and girls. This guy, how did his strength become so strong? Hey, Lumaru, did you see his movements clearly just now? Ye took off Kamaru from his head and held him in his arms. The little dog was so scared that it trembled all over, almost peeing on the spot. I can't see clearly. When encountering that kind of thing, he should have already opened his eyes, otherwise he wouldn't be so powerful. Lumaru grabbed his pockets with both hands, his expression calm, but it was not difficult to see from his slightly trembling forearms that at this moment, his heart was far less calm than his appearance. Click 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 click. Ding Ci frantically stuffed potato chips into his mouth. Che. What's so remarkable about it, and what about Yujibwa? I'm sure my master will be stronger than him in the future. Hey, let's go, what are you waiting for here to see? They've all gone back. Sasuke was right when he said that. With this spare time, why not improve your own strength first? Ye glanced at Ino and Naruto, who were still staring at the door, and said with a displeased expression. He doesn't know why he's unhappy, maybe it's because of Sasuke's stinky appearance, or maybe it's because of his weakness. After speaking, he took the lead in walking outward. Ino, I'm going home. Lumaru gave a push and then shouted towards Inoue. Sasuke. Ino woke up with a startle and looked reluctantly at the door of Sasuke's house, then at Naruto beside him. Naruto, Sasuke has already returned, and we too. Sasuke. I will never give up, sooner or later I will bring you back. Naruto suddenly shouted as if he had gone crazy. After shouting, he turned around and ran away, regardless of what the others did. Naruto Jun. Hinata stood not far away, staring blankly at Naruto's back. This guy. His teeth curled and his mouth curled, his expression becoming increasingly displeased. It's really troublesome, one by one. Lumaru shook his head, unsure of what to say. Click click click. Ding Ci is still eating potato chips. Sakura remained silent throughout the entire process. This time, she was just a companion. Sakura was still a bit introverted during this period. Being able to come here with everyone was already a great courage. It's not easy to catch up with Sasuke. I have to say why. Jinai pushed his glasses and looked up to see that his companions had already walked away. On the other side, Sasuke leaned against the door with his chest in his arms. Azura. He looked down at his palm again and said, Indra. These two brothers are really troublesome. At the moment when he pulled out his knife just now, Sasuke felt like he had suddenly changed people, and a wave of anger in his heart couldn't be suppressed. There is also Naruto. Originally, the relationship between myself and Naruto was relatively ordinary, neither good nor bad, just an average classmate. As a result, Naruto suddenly went crazy today, shouting and saying that he couldn't accept or agree. Sasuke understood that his abnormality with Naruto was most likely due to the influence of the brothers Indra and Azura. These two brothers have been at odds with each other for thousands of years, and even after their own lives have been spent, Chakra's reincarnation is attached to the excellent younger generation, and generation after generation continues to entangle. This generation has taken on two chakras, which are themselves and Naruto. It's really troublesome, and I don't know what the situation with this chakra is. Sasuke clenched his fist, he didn't like the feeling of being influenced by others. But now he cannot determine in what form does Indra's chakra exist, hidden within his own chakra. Or did he merge with his own chakra? Without understanding the specific situation of Indra chakra, he was unable to drive it away or devour it. Sooner or later, you will be tender and die. Being a person of 2 generations and knowing the future, can one be influenced and controlled by an old guy who has died for hundreds of years? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Let him be carefree for a while now. He has no shortage of talent, resources, and golden fingers. It won't be long before he becomes stronger, and then he can completely solve this problem. The next day, Sasuke boarded the hired carriage and waited for the ninja squad to escort him at the entrance of the wooden leaf gate. I didn't expect to be some acquaintances. Kakashi, and the Shenjian team. The so-called Shenjian squad refers to the original 4th-generation Hokage guard, led by the unknown Hokage Shenjian. It can be seen that for Sasuke's escort mission, the 3rd generation also put in a lot of effort and sent out a quite luxurious lineup. Kakashi goes without saying that the ninja on the tree leaf is one of the top combat forces in the tree leaf village today, with 5 ninja realms open. There are 2 special characters in the Shenjian team, one with endurance, and their strength is not weak. The important thing is that they have mastered the technique of flying thunder formation. Once they encounter an enemy that cannot be defeated, they can use this technique to teleport Sasuke back to Konoha. This ensures Sasuke's safety as much as possible, indicating that the previous extermination incident and the second raid on Tuanzang have caused great pressure on the 3rd generation. Especially the latter, forcing the 3rd generation to prioritize Sasuke's safety now. This lineup reassured Sasuke. After confirming the mission with Kakashi, the group immediately set off and left Kiba to head to the Fire City amidst the creaking sound of the carriage. There was nothing to say on the way. Sasuke sat obediently in the carriage throughout the journey, not running around. Kakashi and others are closely guarded, not even allowing a fly to approach the carriage. 2 days later, the group arrived at the Fire City without any danger. Entering the City of Fire, Sasuke finally emerged from the carriage and curiously looked around. The bustling level of the Fire City is similar to that of my village, with a population of around hundreds of thousands. The roads are lined with shops and the streets are bustling with pedestrians, making it incredibly lively. After finding a hotel and settling down everyone's accommodation, Sasuke took Kakashi and the others straight to Daimyo Mansion. Stopped by guards at the entrance, Sasuke handed over the prepared documents. Take a look at Sasuke, then look at the Konoha ninjas behind him. The guards asked them to wait here, and one of them went in with a document to report. Not long after, the guards came out and told Sasuke Daimyo that he had agreed to meet him. Sasuke nodded, tidied up a bit, took the prepared gift, and followed the guards into the Daimyo Mansion. Kakashi and his 4 companions were arranged to the nearby lounge. Even though they were Konoha ninjas, they could not enter casually without the permission of their daimyo. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Daimyo and Nobility and Marriage Contract. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Daimyo and Nobility and Marriage Contract. Daimyo of the Fire Kingdom is a middle-aged person with an average appearance and physique. Wearing a strange hat on his head, like a fan, there are 3 flame patterns on the fan surface, representing his identity as a famous figure in the Fire Kingdom. Are you Uchiha Sasuke? It's been a few years since I last saw you. When you were born, I saw you before. You were thin and small back then, not as good looking as you are now. Daimyo said with a fan in front of his face, smiling. It looks like a very warm temperament. Thank you for your praise, sir. Sasuke sat across from him, bowing slightly. By the way, where's your father? Why did you just come by yourself? Fuyue, this guy, really hasn't come to see me in years, that's too much. The daimyo's face showed a hint of dissatisfaction. It is truly normal for Yuzhibo to have connections with Daimyo. After all, they were one of the 2 major families that founded my village in the past. Now that Shinsho has disappeared, Yuzhibo's position will only become even more transcendent. My father has passed away. When Sasuke said these words, his face was very calm. Daimyo's hand shaking the fan paused slightly. I passed away, Daimyo sighed slightly. I didn't expect Fuyue to pass away so young. What about you? Shao Sasuke, are you now the leader of Uchiha's clan? In fact, there is no longer a called Uchiha clan. Sasuke looked at Daimyo and said slowly. It has only been more than 10 days since Uchiha exterminated his clan. Daimyo is nominally the leader of the Fire Kingdom, but in reality, he can only manage the secular part. The world of ninjas has little to do with him, so it is normal that he did not receive news in a timely manner. Daimyo just put down the fan this time. There's no more Uchiha clan left. What does that mean? He was really a bit surprised. He frowned and looked at Sasuke. Just over 10 days ago. Sasuke sat upright and calmly described the events of the night of extermination, mainly based on his own experiences. As Sasuke spoke, Daimyo's expression changed. After Sasuke finished speaking, his expression returned to normal. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. Huiying was a bit negligent. The daimyo remained calm and made a conclusion about this matter. Lord Hokage manages countless things every day, I can understand. Sasuke nodded in agreement. I don't think you're sad, do you? Daimyo is a bit curious. I have already been sad. Since I am still alive, I should look forward. I think my parents would also like to see me walk out as soon as possible. Sasuke said calmly. I'm glad you think so. So, Sasuke, why are you here to see me today? Just to inform me of what happened at your home. Daimyo unfolded his fan and covered his face again. Of course not, there are two main things I want to say when I meet with adults today. Firstly, I applied to Hokage a few days ago to drop out of the ninja school. From then on, Uchiha will withdraw from the ninja world and completely break away from his ninja identity. Exit the ninja world. Upon hearing this, Daimyo widened his eyes slightly. In this world, ninjas are glory and heroes, and many children dream of becoming ninjas. Nowadays, Sasuke's actions may seem unbelievable to others. Yes, starting from my generation, Uchiha no longer operates as a ninja. I came to see you today hoping to receive your support. Sasuke said, took out an envelope, and pushed it towards Daimyo. Daimyo picked up the envelope, glanced at what was inside, and instinctively raised an eyebrow. Shao Sasuke, what do you want? The name of the nobility. Sasuke looked up at Daimyo and said in a deep voice. Although his voice can still be childish, his tone is very firm and can clearly convey his determination. So what about the second thing? Daimyo didn't say whether he agreed or didn't agree, but went on to ask directly. The second thing is, I want to marry His Highness Yuan Xianhua in the name of the head of the Uchiha family. Sasuke said and took out the second envelope. Yuan Xianhua is the daughter of a daimyo and the true princess of the Fire Kingdom. Daimyo has multiple children, among whom his eldest son is named Yuan Shirshio. If nothing unexpected happens, he will succeed as the next daimyo after the death of this generation of daimyo. Yuan Xianhua is the youngest daughter of the daimyo in front of her. She is still very young, only 1 year younger than Sasuke, and is of the same age as him. Xianhua is the princess of the Fire Kingdom. Shao Sasuke, do you understand what you are saying? Of course, my lord, I am very clear about what I am saying, but don't forget, I am Uchiha. I have Uchiha's blood flowing through my body, which gave me the Sharingan, one of the 3 major pupils in the ninja realm. Sasuke suddenly blinked his eyes. The originally pitch-black pupils turned red in an instant, and inside were 2 jade particles slowly spinning. Daimyo didn't say a word, but looked up and down at Sasuke. His gaze lingered in his eyes for a long time before a faint smile appeared. But Xianhua is still young. You can get engaged first. Anyway, what Sasuke needs is just this name. Sure, I promised you not to leave in the next few days. Let's settle the matter first. Daimyo happily spoke and picked up the second envelope, stuffing it into his arms without even looking. Yes, we strictly follow your instructions. Sasuke said respectfully and quietly clenched his fist. This matter is done. It is actually very difficult for ninjas to break free from the ninja world and completely break free from their ninja identity. It's not something you say you can get rid of, it depends on whether others recognize it or not. Then there is becoming a nobleman. Even with identities like Chinsho and Yuzhibo, it is impossible to become a nobleman under normal circumstances. Even Huiying is nominally a subordinate of Daimyo, although their actual status is equal, and Huiying's actual power even exceeds Daimyo's. But rules are rules. Even if ninjas have the power to destroy heaven and earth, this rule is absolutely insurmountable. Don't ask, it's just the national situation. As a subordinate ninja, do you want to become a nobleman? Hehe, wash and sleep, there's everything in your dream. There are many reasons why Sasuke was successful this time. One of the reasons for Yuzhibo's extermination is that he is now the only one left. 1 billion taels of cash plus all the real estate of the Yuzhibo family in the Fire City is the second reason. The bloodline of Uchiha is the third reason. The fourth reason is that Huiying is constantly evolving. The combination of so many reasons, coupled with him being as young as this year, finally made Daimyo move his mind. Sasuke doesn't care if the other party has any new plans because he also has his own plan. Becoming a nobleman, even a son-in-law of a daimyo, coupled with Uchiha's departure from the ninja realm, all of these added up to be just the first step in his plan. 2 days later, Daimyo called together the important officials of the Fire Kingdom and announced the engagement between Sasuke and Princess Yuanqianua in front of the courtiers, and conferred the title of nobility on Sasuke. From then on, the Uchiha clan officially broke away from the ninja realm and transformed into a member of the noble class. This news, driven by someone with a heart, Sasuke, swept through the entire ninja world like a storm. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. You will regret it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. You will regret it. The news of Yuzhibo becoming a nobleman is even more shocking than the news of Yuzhibo being exterminated. This news swept through the ninja world like a storm, and all the ninjas who learned about it couldn't help but widen their eyes. There are those who envy, those who despise, those who ignore, and those who are tempted. The first ones to bear the brunt are the Konoha ninjas, because they are too close to Uchiha. They are so close that when they go back 10 days, they can still see the living Uchiha. In their leisure time, the Konoha ninjas engage in private discussions. Some of them have some knowledge of the inside story, and then they spread it from one story to another. Everyone coincidentally turned their gaze to the Hokage building, hoping to see how Hokage should face this matter. The villagers don't know so much, but when it comes to discussing intensity, they are not inferior to ninjas. Is this Yuzhibo the one I know of? It's Yuzhibo from our village. Didn't you see that this news was personally spoken by Mr. Daimyo? Yuzhibo has actually become a nobleman. By the way, why haven't I seen anyone from the police force lately? Where have they all gone? I heard that Yuzhibo has been exterminated. Ah. Is it really fake? How did they become nobles? It seems like a child survived. This is really surprising. Who said it's not? The villagers engaged in extensive discussions, and Sasuke's name began to spread wildly in the village. When the Uchiha clan was still alive, their attitude towards Uchiha was disgusted and dissatisfied, wishing that Uchiha would die overnight. Now that Uchiha has really died, they feel that Sasuke is too pitiful. A 7-year-old child, the entire clan has been destroyed, and if it were an ordinary person, it would have collapsed long ago. But not only did this child not collapse, but he was also conferred a noble title by the daimyo, which was enviable but also somewhat admirable. Then, Yuzhibo's reputation among the villagers increased by 1 level, and everyone felt that Yuzhibo truly deserved to be Yuzhibo. The whole clan died with only 1 child left, and he could still become a nobleman, which was really amazing. Just as everyone in my village was discussing passionately. In the Huiying office. Woodleaf F4 gathers here. The third generation of Fire Shadow Ape Flying Sun / was smoking a cigarette without saying a word. Mito Menyen and Watanabe Koharu have an old face, feeling embarrassed about Sasuke's situation. At this moment, Tuan Zongtang stood up suddenly. It's ridiculous. We absolutely can't let him go back to Kiba village. What did he treat as a ninja? What did he treat as Kiba village? Let Gen intercept him, and I will personally send him to the capital of Tempering. He didn't say a word. If there's any accident on the way to escort, I'm really powerless. However, looking at his murderous aura, which was about to solidify into a tangible form, the three people present couldn't help but know what he was up to. No way. The third generation shook their heads. He can let Tuanzang do other things, but this kind of thing is absolutely not acceptable. Joking, the nobleman who had just been conferred the title of Daimyo, the fiancé of the princess, suddenly died on the way. Do you still want Daimyo's face? Do you really mean that this matter has nothing to do with my village? You also have to be willing to believe it. Anyway, Daimyo is also the monarch of the Fire Country, the nominal superior of Hokage, who holds the financial power of the Fire Country. At least half of the annual budget of my village comes from Daimyo. If it angers the Daimyo, then it will be the real trouble if there is turmoil within the Fire Country. Don't get excited, Tanzo. Sasuke's home is in Kiba, and his willingness to go home is a good thing, indicating that he still has feelings for Kiba. Xiaochun, who was sleeping next to her, spoke to comfort her. The result was only a garbage-like look from Tuanzang. Stupid woman, you understand nothing. He turned his head to look at the monkey flying sun / hoping that his old friend could see the big trend clearly. Ape flying sun / took a puff of smoke, his eyes calm. It is indeed an unprecedented situation for ninjas to become aristocrats, but there is a special reason why others cannot replicate it. Let him come back. Sasuke is a child of Konoha, and we cannot prevent a child from returning home. Yen and Xiaochun, you should pay more attention to the thoughts of lower-level ninjas and do some appropriate counseling. Yes. Mito Menyen and Zhuan Lai Xiaochun nodded and turned to go out to arrange work. Tuanzang was extremely disappointed. He knew that the situation had passed and he could no longer change Hokage's thoughts. You have disappointed me too much, Ri Zhan. Only by doing so can we maintain the stability of the village. 3 generations looked at their old friends with firm eyes. Ri Zhan, you will regret it. I am the Hokage. Tuanzang left in anger. The two parted ways unhappily. 2 days later, Sasuke set off to return to the village. When we went, there was a carriage with 4 ninjas. When we returned, the carriage became a convoy, and the ninjas were still the same 4. However, there was an additional 200-person escort team and 4 obviously strong guys next to us. The 12 elite ninjas guarding Shanghai are responsible for protecting the daimyo of the Fire Kingdom. They are the daimyo's personal independent direct guards, and their members are not weak. The son of the 3rd generation, the bounty measurement unit ape flying asthma, is one of them. This time, he also returned with the team to protect the convoy while also taking a few days off in his hometown. The reason why Daimyo sent such an additional team is twofold. On the one hand, it is to protect the newly appointed nobleman Uchiha Sasuke, and on the other hand, it is to protect his daughter Yuan Qianhua. The little princess of the Fire Kingdom also returned with Sasuke this time. On the evening of announcing the coronation of Sasuke as a nobleman, Daimyo held a banquet at which Sasuke saw the first round flower. She is indeed very cute, with a round little face, big eyes, and white skin. Sasuke recognized her fiancé Ae at first glance. Then the 2 little guys started chatting. Sasuke is very handsome, otherwise he wouldn't have been a school grass since childhood, attracting a group of girls to revolve around him. Yuan Qianhua had never seen many strangers before, and even fewer of her peers. Sasuke's outstanding appearance immediately attracted her. In addition, the two of them were already engaged, and the little girl's small heart was filled with a full account by Sasuke, unable to let anyone else go. In the next 2 days, Sasuke would run to Yuan Xianhua whenever he had time, using his knowledge of 2 generations to constantly give various small gifts and tell jokes. The inexperienced little girl was teased so much that she couldn't close her mouth. She was easily taken down by Sasuke, and even offered to come with him to take a look at Kiba village, which gave rise to the current convoy. In addition to the first 2 carriages used to accommodate people, there were also 5 carriages following. Among them, 2 were gifts given by Daimyo to Sasuke, and 3 were personal belongings for the princess's travels. It's outrageous. A 6-year-old girl would have to bring 3 whole carts of things and she leaves the house. Can she use so much? Sasuke couldn't understand and expressed great shock. The convoy walked like this for almost 3 days, and finally the gate of my village was in sight. Sasuke, Sasuke, is that Kiba in front of you? Yuan Xianhua poked her head out and glanced, then turned around and asked with an excited expression. This is her first time traveling far away, not to mention Muyi. Even taking her to the mountains and valleys can excite her immensely. That's right, Xianhua. There's my village ahead, we're home. Sasuke touched Xianhua's head and looked inexplicably ahead. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Returning to the village. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Returning to the village. The convoy stopped outside the wooden gate. Shinue Chuyun and Gangzi Tai are chatting with Kakashi. This pair of Iron Gate gods and Kakashi are born at the same time, and their relationship is relatively good. Sasuke glanced back and focused on waiting for the maid to help Yuan Xianhua tidy up her appearance. Princess Yuan Qianhua must have taken more than one maid on her tour. The maid who stayed in this car was the chief maid, while the other maids were all in the second car. There is no need to change clothes or dress up. After all, the princess is young and her makeup requirements are not that high. Just smooth out the wrinkles and adjust her hairstyle slightly. The guards are also resting, and the journey has been dusty. The guards look a bit haggard. They are not only the guards protecting the princess, but also the honor guards representing the face of the daimyo. Now that they are going to enter the village, they must adjust their state well. Otherwise, what should they do if they are unkempt and let the Kiba people laugh at them? Half a day later, the convoy moved again. The soldiers lined up on both sides and sandwiched the convoy in the middle. The 4 guardians stood at the corners of the carriage, and if anyone dared to attack the carriage, they would be the first line of defense. The second line of defense is the Kaka team, who are hiding in 2 carriages and not exposed in front of anyone. As soon as the convoy entered Kiba, it immediately caused a sensation. Villagers gathered from all directions and spontaneously stood on the roadside to pay their respects to the convoy. Is this the motorcade of Royal Highness Princess? What a luxurious carriage. Where's the child from Uchiha's family? Why haven't you seen anyone? It must be in the car. Ah. Is this suitable? What's wrong? He is the fiancé of Royal Highness Princess, and the child is only 7 years old this year, 7 years old. Can't do anything. He, you're saying the same thing. Unfortunately, I can't see what the princess looks like. It said that Royal Highness Princess is very cute. Your Highness Royal Highness Princess, can you see it casually? Don't think so. Ha. Have I seen that beard somewhere before? Why do I feel so familiar with it? It seems like it's the son of the 3rd generation. What's his name? Asma. Look over here, Asma. Yes, it's called Asma. Hey, that man, don't shout, what if you disturb Royal Highness Princess? What about the police force? Why not take charge? It's really embarrassing for my village. The surrounding noise was heard clearly by several people in the carriage. Kakashi glanced at Yuan Xianhua and smiled apologetically at her. The one who shouted Asuma's name just now, you don't have to guess who it was. Looking at Asuma through the curtains, her old face turned red with embarrassment, as if she wished she could find a crack in the ground to get in. Yuan Xianhua didn't notice Kakashi's gaze. She was pulling Sasuke's sleeve and secretly looking out through the gap in the curtain. Sasuke gently patted the back of Yuan Xianhua's hand, indicating that she should not be nervous. Don't be fooled by the loud noise from the villagers, in fact, everyone is just curious. Daiming, princesses, and nobles are too far away from them. If they were the people of the Fire City, they would definitely not behave like this. But my village is far from the political center of Fire Country, and the villagers here only have daily contact with ninjas. It is normal for them to be excited when they suddenly see the princess of Fire Country. The convoy quickly arrived at the gate of the Uchiha tribe. The group will have to part ways here. The Kakashi team needs to hand over tasks and cannot continue to accompany them. Sasuke expressed understanding and watched as the Kakashi team left. After a moment, the convoy officially entered the Uchiha clan territory. Until then, Yuan Xianhua regained her courage and looked out with her head. Why don't you go out for a walk? Sasuke suggested. Okay. The little girl was suffocated inside the carriage, and now she can finally go out and breathe. Excitedly, she clapped her hands. Sasuke got off the car first, followed by Yuan Xianhua outside. After placing her on the ground, he waved and called the 4 guardians over. This is already the interior of my village, and we don't need to protect it for now. Would you 4 like to take a break? He asked everyone with his mouth, but his eyes were on Asuma. Ah haha, then what? Since you said that, I'll withdraw first. I haven't come back for several years, so I really miss home a bit. Asuma scratched her head, her smile becoming more awkward. Among the 4 people, he was the most absent-minded and was even noticed by Sasuke. Can he not be embarrassed? Along with Asuma, there was also Di-Lu, who was also a guardian of ninja. He came from the Temple of Fire and had not been to Mai for many years, so he was also curious about Mai's development. There was another person walking with them, named Bei-Jen, who was one of the 4 members of the small group lay done within the 12 ninjas. In the end, only the Freezing Rain, which was the only female among the 12 ninjas and a group of 4, survived. Her job is to personally protect the princess. She goes wherever the princess goes, and this person is a bit cold-tempered, not someone who loves shopping. Sasuke didn't say much anymore, holding Xianhua's small hand and strolling with her in the tribal land. The construction of the Yuzhibo ethnic land is very good, with flat ground and wide roads. The houses on both sides are arranged in rows, and the Yuzhibo ethnic emblem can be seen every other section. In terms of luxury, it is definitely not as luxurious as Daimyo palaces, but looking at the ninja world, in terms of a single family's territory, there has not yet been a family that can surpass Uchiha. However, nowadays Yuzhibo is a bit too cold, and not a single pedestrian can see him along the way. Brother Sasuke, I heard others say before that they said your people. The little girl organized her speech for a long time, but she couldn't fully express her words. Sasuke spoke for her and said, they're all dead, just over a dozen days ago. Brother Sasuke, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it. Xianhua looked carefully at Sasuke. Sasuke smiled gently. It's okay, it's not related to Xianhua, and I've already walked out. Yuan Xianhua nodded and looked at Sasuke's smile, her little face slightly burning. Although the Uchiha clan had a large territory, when they got off the car, they had already penetrated deep into the interior of the clan and continued walking not too far to reach the entrance of Sasuke's house. Let's go, Xianhua, we're going home. Sasuke smiled and said. Xianhua nodded vigorously and followed Sasuke into the room. The others stopped outside the door and dispersed according to the previous arrangement. The guards are living in a circle of empty houses around them. Anyway, Uchiha doesn't have much else now, so there are more empty houses. A few cars were pushed into the neighboring yard, and the contents inside would be slowly sorted out later. The maids and Frozen Rain followed into the room, especially those maids who wanted to live with the princess. After entering the house, some maids went to clean up, while others began to boil water and became busy. Check everywhere for hidden mechanisms and traps in case of freezing rain. Sasuke introduced Qianhua to her home and showed her where she was born and raised. She shared some interesting stories that had happened before, making the little girl giggle. The dinner was eaten at home, and the maids were skilled in cooking. The food tasted very good. After finishing her meal, the little girl felt a bit tired. She took a shower under the waitress's service, changed into pajamas, and planned to go to bed. Sasuke picked up his toiletries and was about to go wash when someone suddenly knocked on the door. He quickly ran over to open the door, and the person standing outside was the third generation. At this moment, Ape Flying Sun Jean took off his Hokage robe, dressed in ordinary home clothes, holding a pipe in his hand, just like an old man sunbathing on the street. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Hokage visits the door and apologizes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Hokage visits the door and apologizes. Lord Huiying, why are you? Looking at the figure of fire standing outside his house, Sasuke made a surprised expression. I have nothing to do after work. I came over to see you. How are you? I didn't disturb your rest, did I? Monkey Flying Sun said with a smile. No, how could it be? Please come in, the door is not a place to talk. Chuja, go brew a pot of tea and come over. Sasuke invited the third generation into the room while shouting to the maidservant. Don't bother so much, I just came to see you. Sandai happily entered the house, which he was both familiar with and unfamiliar with. Sasuke led the way and arrived at the reception tea room with the third generation. Within a minute of sitting down, the door was knocked on and Chuja walked in with a tea tray. Has Qianhua fallen asleep yet? When Chuja poured tea, Sasuke asked. Your Royal Highness Princess has rested. Chuja replied, bowing her head and not taking a second glance at the two people in the room. It seems that I didn't come at the right time. Sandai touched his beard and said with a smile. How could it be? Lord Huiying, you can come any time. It's because I didn't prepare in advance. The main reason is that Qianhua is still young and has been tired all the way. She didn't have a chance to rest during the day today, so she fell asleep early. I didn't expect Lord Huiying to come, so I arranged for her to rest in advance. I'm really sorry for neglecting Lord Huiying. Sasuke bowed slightly to express his apologies. Qianhua is indeed tired, this is the truth. However, on the other hand, even if Qianhua is now full of energy, he will still use the same reason to prevent the third generation from seeing Qianhua. Just tell yourself what's going on. Anyway, if the third generation can come tonight, the main purpose is not for Qianhua, but for oneself. Don't say that, it was my rudeness to come knocking on the door without making an appointment in advance, said the third generation for a moment. Being able to become a noble in the ninja family, Sasuke, you really gave me a great surprise. I am also forced and helpless. Yuzhibo has no ability to protect himself, but these eyes are a treasure that everyone covets. In order to protect myself, I can only resort to this strategy. I hope Lord Huiying can understand. Understand, I completely understand, and this is a good thing. Sasuke, don't be nervous. I'm not here to hold you accountable today. The Monkey Flying Sun waved his hand and his expression suddenly changed. Actually, I had planned to come here before, but because the work in the village was too busy, this matter has been delayed until now. He said, took out a scroll from his sleeve and placed it in front of Sasuke. Lord Huiying, are you? Sasuke looked at the other person in confusion. The two ninjas who attacked you before belong to the Root and are a special team of the Dark Ministry, led by Huiying and Jitsuan Tuanzang. I usually entrust some of the Dark Ministry's work to him, hoping that he can do something for the village. Unexpectedly, his ambition will continue to rise. He is suspected of contributing to the destruction of the Uchiha clan. That night, he led Root to steal the Uchiha clan's treasury and took advantage of it to steal a lot of Uchiha supplies. I have been busy investigating him recently, just to give you justice. Sasuke, due to my negligence, it led to. I cannot shirk my responsibility for the damage caused to you and Yuzhibo by the expansion of Tuanzang. I am truly sorry at this point. Ape Flying Sun suddenly lay on the ground and gave Sasuke a pedestal. Sasuke jumped up in shock and quickly went over to help the other person. How can this be, Lord Huiying? It's none of your business, it's all Tuanzang's fault. You don't need to apologize to me. He spoke, but secretly muttered to himself. When this old man speaks to this extent, he basically makes everything clear. What is this for? Do you want to cut with Tuanzang? Is this kind of thing possible? Sasuke couldn't guess the thoughts of the third generation and could only temporarily suppress his thoughts. In this scroll, there are some items recovered from the dark side, including several pairs of Sharingan. I have made up for the missing items and now return them to you. This belongs to Yuzhibo's property, which has now been returned to its original owner. I hope you can forgive the old man's slow reaction. Monkey Flying Sun was supported by Sasuke and sat up, then pushed the scroll towards Sasuke. His expression was very serious, and his tone was also very sincere, speaking as if it were true. Lord Huiying, how could I blame you? It's all that Tuanzang's fault. He's really damn. How could such a person be? Well, I'm sorry, I was a bit impolite, really. Sasuke couldn't figure out what the third generation was up to, and this series of combo punches really left him feeling a bit confused. But he has his own advantage, which is being young. Anyway, he is still a child. He is only 7 years old this year. With a stirring mood, he can say things that are just out of place, and others won't blame him. He can also hide his true thoughts while doing so. Also, regarding the funeral, the body was kept at the Kiba hospital before. I thought you would hold the funeral once you recovered, but I didn't expect you to suddenly go see Daimyo. Now that you're back, it's time to let Fuyue, Mei-chin, and other Yukibo people rest in peace. The third generation continued. As soon as he mentioned this, Sasuke wanted to roast. There is no mention of this funeral in my past life memories, but considering the dramatic changes that Sasuke experienced at that time, as a normal 7-year-old child, it would definitely take a long time to emerge from the shadows. The village has ample time to conduct several rounds of research on Yuzhibo's body and remove all remaining memories from it. Even if it is not directly done by the secret forces and interrogation teams, it will inevitably be done by the Root, and even Tuanzang will actively request such a thing to be done. Now, I have quickly emerged from the haze of annihilation and become the fiancé of nobles and princesses. It is estimated that these reasons have led to the 3 generations having to return the bodies in advance, and even returning some of the supplies in the Uchiha clan's treasury. But all of this is clearly the fault of the village and Tuanzang. Now that the third generation speaks up, I still have to thank the other party. This old fox is really not easy. However, if the third generation hopes to gain their gratitude by doing so, then he is simply trying to eat his own fart. After finishing the conversation, the third generation said some words of care and encouragement. After waiting for half an hour, they got up and left. Before leaving, Sasuke was advised to rest more, maintain a good mentality, take more walks and take a look when there is nothing to do, and relax. Watching the 3 generations gradually fade away, the figure of Frozen Rain suddenly appeared by Sasuke's side. Is this Hokage? It's really strong, and I didn't even notice his presence until he knocked on the door. Frozen Rain's expression was very solemn. They claim to be not weak, otherwise they cannot protect Daimyo. But compared to Hokage, their strength is just like that. Despite the age of the third Hokage, they are all buried in dirt. However, once a real fight breaks out, it is not a problem for them to play alone to protect the ninja 12 warriors. Of course, that's the strongest Hokage. Do you think it's for fun? The word strongest was emphasized by Sasuke. But he knew in his heart that even though the reputation of being the strongest of the 3 generations had a huge impact, their hard power was not something to boast about. Being able to play the 5 series dungeon technique to the pinnacle and earning the title of a ninjutsu professor, the 3rd generation is indeed the limit of an ordinary ninja, and this is beyond doubt. End of this chapter.